Hello, Klaas. Super nice to have you here, and thank you so much for inviting us to Morocco.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I think you had a pretty good session on some of our new gear, and especially on the Crest. We've done some downwinders together, and I think you've tested this particular size here today,
How we doing over
and told
there?
me how impressive that was.
It's good, huh?
Yeah, like we were, and not just only me, but like with couple of other guys. Like we've been in the industry for long, and every year there's new stuff coming out. But it's not common that there's something that just blows our mind. But uh, but yeah, let's focus on this new Crest D Lab, and especially uh, for the Finnish riders, because now actually, like what I've been enjoying here in Dakhla is that the conditions are kind of like what we have, because we don't have massive oceans, so we don't get oceans well. We get wind waves and choppy and stuff like that. And on the current duotone range, personally, I've been enjoying the glide because with glide I can connect those small bumps. As with the carve, I've been struggling a bit getting the glide from one pump to another. Although I really enjoy the turning on the carve. And now coming here, kind of knowing that there's something sitting between the carve and the glide, I was kind of excited. But please tell us what is Crest, what it's made for, and what's the magic sauce behind it.
Yeah, the Crest is the latest edition. As you said, it sits somewhere between the Carve and the Glide. And the original aim was to make a really good high performance surf foil. And in surf foiling, you need a foil that combines maneuverability, really good maneuverability, with really good pump and glide. And I think that's what, like, this is what the whole design is made for. Turns out that we like it a lot, not only for pronefoiling, also with the assist for downwinding and smaller, steeper bumps. It's pretty much the conditions you were talking about. And for wingfoiling, especially for the riders who like to flag their wing eventually, get on the bumps and ride the bumps and have a playful foil under themselves that is intuitive to ride, that is easy to ride, and that maintains that glide and has a really good pump. And that's what the Crests combine so well in a much better speed range compared to our previous Wiz that we had in that sector. It has a slightly higher aspect ratio compared to the Wiz before. It sits at a 9 aspect ratio, which moves it a little bit more to the glide compared to the Carve. And yeah, in my eyes, it hits a really a sweet spot for the person who wants to have that pump and glide combined with a really loose, maneuverable feel. And this is, yeah, so far the feedback has been insane. Everybody's craving for these, fighting over the over the correct sizes for them. Here at that meeting, we don't have every size and multiple options, so there's always a constant fight who takes what. Everybody wants to ride the Crest because it's just the latest and greatest addition to the range.
Yeah, I agree completely. I've been lucky so many times. I've been able to pick the exact size. Like we did that close to 2 hour long downwinder, and I think that was my first session with the 1050 Crest. And yeah, because I was sort of back and forth: do I take the 1100 Glide or the Crest? And the guys were saying, "Take the Crest, take the Crest," and like that was just magic. So size-wise, there are four sizes on it. So could you tell us a bit more on sort of what type of a riders, conditions, that sort of a thing you would recommend for each size?
Yeah, as you said, we have four sizes. We have a 675, an 800, a 925, and a 1050, all in a D-Lab construction. We didn't really go bigger to not beef up the D-Lab too much because the stress on the bigger wings becomes substantially higher on the torsion. And this is kind of the sizes around the magic sizes for surf foiling as well. Rider wise, I would definitely say this is not a beginner wing. It's very playful for somebody who is just coming from a free, first couple of months on a free maybe. It might be a little bit of a handful in terms of looseness. So it's definitely for people who have a few years of foiling already under their belt, or at least a certain amount of level. If they've been on a glide for a while and loving the glide, that is something to look at. because that targets that same rider who wants more maneuverability out of that glidey feel. And then it just depends on your body size and weight. If you're heavier, of course, you're looking more for the 925 and the 1050. If you're lighter, for the smaller versions, but it also depends on a little bit on what you do. If you're looking for that like downwind, riding the swell, you might pick a bigger size. If you just want to have a playful feel, kind of going straight on the wing and using the wing to power you up, you might be fine even when you're heavy on an 800 or even 675 to have that lively, playful feel under your feet. And the Crest is also the first foil where we actually do two different recommendations for the stabilizer. We went a little bit away from that one recommendation that targets, let's say, 80% of the riders, because it's so versatile. It's a foil that you use for prone, downwind, para wing downwinding, but at the same time for wingers who just want to cruise along their choppy waters or lakes, or and they need sort of different power under their foil. So for all the prone riders, let's say the swell-driven guys or girls, we recommend the S stabilizer to have a really good combination of pump and glide and maneuverability. It's a stabilizer you might want to use your foil a little further forward. A lot of the guys who like to ride that style ride strapless, ride the bumps, ride the swell, ride the surf. And for the guys who want to be a little bit more powered up and feel a little bit more feedback under the front foot, most of the wingers, we recommend the PX tail. That just adds a little bit more front foot pressure, stability for higher speeds. This one more for slower speeds. This one more for the control and stability for higher speeds, which counts for most wingers. And also for the assist foilers who get the assisted power. For those riders, we recommend the PX in the respective sizes. And we have that all printed onto the foils. So you can read here, recommended step, prone, screw-on S165 or monoblock S160. The monoblocks is the one you see here. It's fully integrated step into the tail of the fuse, which is also coming together with the Crest in S and P, two sizes of the PX. And at the same time, we also have the recommendation for wing and assist for the respective sizes PX screw-on and PX monoblock. A lot of info.
Yeah, there was a lot of and about the difficulty. I agree. Like it's not your first foil, but like this is something that amazes me all the time with Duotone is that, and I've been seeing this with the Glide and with the others, that like, because a lot of foils, when you use it for the first time, you have that bit of a rodeo moment, getting dialed in. But for some reason, whatever you do, whenever I go out with it for the first time, it feels like I've been riding it for ages. Like, I don't know how you fine tune it in the moment, but like the entry barrier to a new foil in the Duotone range. Like I've been here kind of pushing, I've been taking smaller and smaller and riding the Blitz, which is definitely not my foil, and like straight going and riding, and that amazes me. To the end, actually, like to go back a bit to the comparison with the Glide, because obviously this is something that will get the attention of the previous Glide riders, such as me. So just give us a brief info. So if you're coming from 1100, 900 and those, so like if you kind of want to hit that same wind range or that same swell size or bump size, how would you compare the sizing to make it a bit easier for the people to select the correct one?
Yeah, sure. If you're coming from an 1100 Glide, I definitely steer you to the 1050 Crest for the first contact with the Crest. For the person who wants to one-to-one replace the Glide 900, the Crest 925 is doing that pretty well. It matches pretty much that lift factor of the lift, I would say. And similar thing counts for the 750. If you had the 750 Glide, I would probably steer you more towards the 800 Crest. It's slightly lower aspect ratio. The Glide still has a little bit more glide because of the span. The Glide is more 10.2, 10.3 aspect ratio. The Crest, it's more at a 9. So you can potentially upsize slightly, but saying that the Glide has the Crest has a really good speed range. It's very stall friendly, and as you say, it's actually pretty intuitive and easy to ride. I think one secret is we obviously pay a lot of attention to ease of use and to make it intuitive and yeah, easy to also make mistakes and get away with it. The other thing too that I think counts for the entire duotone range is that we have a really stable overall setup. So between mast, fuse connection, everything is fully simulated, calculated to have maximum rigidity in the system. And I think that's something you feel in throughout the entire duotone range compared to some of the competitor brands. We're really stable. That makes the ride really direct and actually easier.
Yeah, completely agree. It's and I've witnessed this so many times when I give the duotone gear to riders of different levels, different backgrounds, and it's fun to see every time that when they climb on the board for the first time, get going, and they just go flying and know like how do I balance it out and so forth. But hey man, like thank you so much for the talk. Thank you so much for the invite. I know you have 2 minutes to get to the downwinder.
I'll run for my gear.
I had the honor of joining you a few days ago on the downwinder. That was one of the best sessions of my life by a mile. Like in the middle of a Sahara lagoon, all alone, kind of scared, but kind of like the feeling of free flow. What foiling gives was, yeah, just made me hungry for more. So
Cool.
good
Great
stuff,
to
and
hear.
hope to meet you again in these kind of meetings.
Thanks.
Bye bye.